Louis has prepared a dark chocolate fondue. It is melted over a candle in the open air. Magical and perfection. Hello and welcome to the Faberge Cafe, the ultimate and premier in dessert fine dining, right here in the heart of Tingledom. So delighted that you have come to join us for our last course club. The last Friday of every month, our chefs put their heads together and come up with a truly unique extravaganza of desserts to delight you. So I think you shall be quite pleased with what we have to offer you this evening. Oh, of course. So the Faberge Cafe is obviously named for the famous, luxurious, and royal Faberge eggs, which you can see are part of the decor that we have around. Our head chef, Charlotte, many moons ago, she studied at Le Cordon Bleu in Paris, and after she finished her studies, she did a little bit of traveling all throughout Europe and Russia, and she had a fascination with the Faberge eggs. They were made by Faberge. He's the artist behind these amazing eggs. And there were over 60 made at the time, but only 57 remaining. And they're held through different collections. They're held at the Kremlin, and at the time there were some 9 owned by the Forbes family in America. And so she went around and visited. I think she saw over 30 of them. Quite an amazing feat. And with her culinary training and the Faberge eggs, she thought, this is what I want to bring to Tingledom, that thrill of the finery of being around something uniquely crafted and just of the most excellent quality. So she came back and she started the Faberge Cafe. And so her standards are for excellence. Of course, she understood that from the beginning. She is the daughter of a former Tingledom castle chef as well. So it's in the bloodlines. So Charlotte is the head chef. She approves and is in charge of everything. And then, of course, we have an amazing complement of the best pâtissiers. So Cheryl, who focuses on cakes. If you ever want an amazing wedding cake, her cakes are second to none. And then we have Louis, our chocolatier. So John and Cheryl have external training. They are trained as chefs by the best institutes in the world. John is a bit of a savant, you could say. He is completely self-taught from textbooks and videos, but he is probably the most skilled of any of our chefs. He is someone who demands perfection in chocolate. So this will be the best chocolate that you've ever had. Can sometimes be a bit of a problem, actually. He wants that, a full pot of melting chocolate, and he tasted it, and he thought, this is not to my standards. He completely threw it out. Well, Charlotte got after him about that and said, if we're not going to use it here, we can pass it to other places around Tingledom. Waste is not a virtue. But, commended him for his eye for attention and detail. So, those are our chefs. Now we have a selection of 20 to 30, usually, desserts that you get at the Last Course Club. And the way this will work, you have a couple different options for how you can do this. Most people end up getting a tasting tray. With that, you get just a little bite of every single thing. And then if you want more of something, we can bring that to you. Some people, though, will hear something amazing, and knowing that it may never be offered again, want just a full piece of that. And obviously you can order as many desserts as you want. This is the Last Course Club, after all. So, I will go through the menu with you. Before we begin, can I get you anything to drink? Coffee, tea, Tingledom spring water. Okay. Yes. Okay, we'll make sure to get that for you. Now that you have your beverage, I think it's time to just sit back and relax as I share with you what delights we have for you this month at the Last Course Club. So we will start with Chef John's selections. Treat yourself to a slice or a bite of our luscious banoffee pie. This has a graham cracker pie crust, silky toffee filling, topped with fresh bananas and whipped cream. It is very rich. You can only spent all month perfecting these, so I've eaten way too much of all of these. Or you could have a slice of Chef John's peach pie. So he was trained in the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park. And he made connections with people throughout the U.S. One, very importantly, being from Georgia. These peaches come fresh from the heart of Georgia. They are juicy, delightful, and amazing. This starts with just an old-fashioned crust, the flakiest and lightest crust, which enrobes the perfectly ripe peaches, which are of course bursting with flavor. This is served with cream or a lusty scoop of vanilla bean ice cream. And it is perfection. Now, a lot of people think of a peanut butter pie as maybe a quick and nasty dessert made by Mother Dearest. Not this peanut butter pie. This is a true indulgence. It has a dark chocolate cookie crumb crust. Now anything with chocolate comes from Louis, our chocolatier. So he makes sure that it surpasses his finest standards. So Louis assembles the cookie crumb crust, and then John has created a light and airy and foamy peanut butter filling. It almost disintegrates as soon as it hits your tongue, and it's amazing. It just melts in your mouth. Now we also have a luscious banana pudding. This is made with not typical Cavendish bananas or even fingerling bananas. John has scoured and scoured and scoured and found the best flavor bananas, and only these are used to flavor this amazing banana pudding. This has a denser, thicker texture and is delightful. Served, of course, with a healthy dose of whipped cream. And finally, we have Grandma's apple bread pudding. John, this is his last piece when he stayed in the U.S. This was his roommate's grandmother's recipe. He's been working with it for years, actually, because he thought it was a really great base, but he needed to work out how to really enhance the settled on 2.5 days. So actually, yes, the bakery make a special batch at a special time so that he can get it exactly when he wants it. So the base is that, and then we have 5 varieties of apples, which suffuse the pudding with their flavor. It is a masterpiece. He's very proud and very happy to present. I think he'll probably end up adding it to the regular menu. He's spent so much time on it. So it will depend upon the reception that it receives from our guests this evening. So do be sure to let us know. Now on to our cake selections. Cheryl has outdone herself again. Let's see, how many cakes has she given us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 cakes. She really spoils us. So all of these cakes are made in a full cake size. So there's always plenty of extra. And if there's something you particularly like, you may be able to go out with one apple cake. A full cake of Cheryl's is, it would be a magnificent gift to give someone. Let's go through what she's prepared. She has a chocolate raspberry lava cake. These are actually individual little cakes so that every single cake can burst with its chocolate lava. They are, typical lava cakes that you may have seen have just a flat top and then open. This one is actually shaped in the shape of a mini volcano. So the lava actually is warmed so it can spill out of the top. Studded on our lava mountain are raspberries. This is a chocolate raspberry lava cake. Now Louis has outdone himself with the lava. This chocolate ganache is so rich and so dark. It is sublime. Now Cheryl has also made for us a flowerless chocolate cake. This makes it a bit more moist and fudgy. The crumb is perfection, and it is drizzled atop with caramel sauce. Oh, she's learned from the best. She also went to Le Cordon Bleu. She's the next generation, I suppose. She's in about her 40s, but Charlotte went probably about 20 years before her. And so Charlotte's always keeping her eye open, and she saw Cheryl coming up, and she said, if you want to be the best, go to Le Cordon Bleu. Oh, well, there was a little bit. So Cheryl and John are actually twins, so they're brother and sister, but also twins. And so there's always been a little drama because Charlotte suggested that Cheryl go, but not John, even though for Charlotte. It was just she saw Cheryl and herself. John not as much, but it's really helped the establishment overall to have just those different perspectives which come together. Now we also have a triple chocolate loaf cake. So rather than being cooked in a round, this is cooked in loaves, but we still have 3 layers and 3 types of chocolate: dark, milk, and light. Now the chocolate here, this all is grown on the southwest corner of Tingledom. Yeah, I know you wouldn't even think that you could grow chocolate here. It's a bit of a crazy island. We have the perpetual autumn forest right next to us, and go south a little ways and we've got cocoa plantations, but it is magical. So it all comes together. The triple chocolate loaf cake has in between white chocolate layers of cream and icing. It's a chocolate lover's dream. And she's prepared little mini cakes so that you get all 3 layers if you want just a single bite. The little mini cakes are so cute. Now she's got a couple of cheesecakes as well. We have a basil cheesecake with strawberry mousse. Fresh basil is mixed directly into the cheesecake batter before it is baked. This is a rich and decadent cheesecake. The strawberry mousse is made with the freshest strawberries. And these are little small French strawberries which are grown purely for their flavor and nothing else. So they are the most delicious, sweet, and amazing. The strawberry mousse doesn't even require any sugar. That's how sweet these strawberries are. Amazing. Then we have our lemon cheesecake with a blueberry topping. The lemon and blueberry, they've combined amazingly with this. You get that bright, tart lemon, and then it's drenched in blueberry sweet goodness. She outdone herself this time. Now, for chocolate lovers and cheesecake lovers, the best combination will be the rich truffle cheesecake. She has been working on this one for a while, and sometimes has a bit of a different variation on it, but this one is perfection. There's chocolate truffle baked into the cheesecake, and then it's topped with 10 different types of chocolate truffle. And, of course, a chocolate ganache. Now, she's got more cake for us. little back and forth between them. So, John has been working for so long on the apple bread pudding, and everyone kind of knew it was going to be ready for this month. And so Cheryl decided to add this apple cake to the menu. They're a little competitive with each other, but John also does bring it on himself because he loves to play pranks, and of course his dear sister is the number one target. So. But for us, we shall all be delighted because this apple cake is moist, spicy, and delicious. And Cheryl's caramel icing. It is to die for. Now we also have a coconut almond cake from Cheryl. This is cooked in the round with a simple sugar glaze. This is not an overly sweet cake. This is a great cake for having at the end of the night with your cup of coffee. If you don't like overly sweet, I can't stress that enough. It's great for that. And has just that hint of almond and coconut. Oh, they melt together. Cheryl works on her own extractions, so she's made her own almond extract from fresh almonds and her own coconut. She doesn't like too much of the texture of coconut to be there because it can be a little jarring, but of course coconut flavor is amazing. So she's really worked her own method into there, and it has paid off in spades. Next, I've been waiting for this to return to the menu. She made this, I think, 2 years ago. Her indulgent carrot cake. It's like every carrot cake, but the best carrot cake I've ever had. It tastes like all the best aspects of every carrot cake that you've had all have come together and then been pushed up a whole nother level. It was so amazing last time, and I can't wait to have it again. She hasn't been practicing it because she already perfected it last time, so I, along with you, will be eagerly anticipating that. Yes, it does come with a delightful cream cheese frosting, and she's spiced it. Wow, it's amazing. And she makes it gorgeous as well. Everything is beautiful. Of course, that's what these culinary institutes teach, that all begins with the eye. So everything is a work of art that you quickly destroy. Quite rightly so. Oh, now we've got 3 more cakes from her. She really puts in so much work on these nights. She loves the Last Course Club. She may come around later in the evening and talk to you, see how you're liking everything. So, she's wonderful. We have the rhubarb cinnamon cake. The tanginess of the rhubarb and that spice from the cinnamon, sweetness in the cake, and it's got a light and airy texture, but oh so moist from that rhubarb. also have a Tres Leches cake. Cheryl got this recipe. It is authentic, and she has not changed a thing. It is just a taste of culture. It's a cake, and it's got all the leches and the milks. It is a soaked cake, which we have 2 this month, that being the first one. The Tres Leches she has done before at the Last Course Club, and it was absolutely divine. I have been waiting for it to come back. It's served atop with strawberries and whipped cream. It's amazing. And finally, from Cheryl, we have the strawberry poke cake. This is a vanilla sponge cake which has been poked, then strawberry gelatin seeps through the holes, and then it has a delightful pudding custard topping. Yes, John and her got together for that topping, and when they weren't arguing, they have put together something magnificent. It's always wonderful when they work together. Now you, of course, will also be delighted by our head chef, Charlotte's selections. We have a summer blueberry cobbler. This has delightful crunch on the outside, not quite just a delightful crust, shall I say. And the blueberries burst with flavor. Oh, it's buttery and delicious. We've got cream puffs, a real classic. These have a twist. There is real vanilla bean inside of the cream that's piped into the cream puffs, and they're topped with a chocolate ganache. A la Louis, of course. We've got our strawberry and macaroon trifle. This is served in little cups, or you can get a bowl if you really want a nice serving. We've got layers of strawberry and juice pastry. Oh, it's amazing. And of course, whipped cream. These layers are light and airy and delicious, and the strawberries are divine. Now, for those who prefer a more breakfast type option for their dessert, Charlotte has prepared mini waffles with bananas and caramel sauce, just smothering the top. Oh yes, they are Belgian. She did not actually when she went to Cordon Bleu. She went for a short course, probably about 10 to 15 years later. She went to Belgium and learned how to perfect the waffle. So she, from time to time, likes to include them on our Last Course Club menu. And she also has been playing around with her classic creme brulee, and I think she's hit upon something magnificent. This is a mixed spice creme brulee. It almost has a pumpkin spice flavor in the custard and that lovely cracking top. Wonderful. Now we have 3 items specifically from Louis. He usually keeps his primary items more restricted. He has prepared an absolutely elegant dark chocolate fondue. He has been trialing for the past couple of years all sorts of different implements for doing chocolate fondue. He's worked with sorceresses, and this one is melted over a perpetually burning candle, so it actually flows through the air. It is beautiful and delicious at the perfect temperature. We have strawberries, marshmallows, angel food cake, pretzels, and more to dip through this amazing fondue. He has also prepared a decadent chocolate mousse with Irish cream. It has Bailey's Irish cream, and it is the perfect airy texture. He has doubled the amount of air that can go in there. I know because he's been working on it, and when he hit the double, he said, "I have perfected it." He's a funny guy. And last but certainly not least is his butterscotch brownies. Perfection. Everything Louis does is perfection. The butterscotch melts perfectly with the chocolate flavor, and they are perfectly fudgy. There have been a lot of brownies sent off, shall we say, in preparing this recipe, so I hope you will be delighted. So that is what we have to offer. I assume you'll be wanting the tasting. Yes, you'll need a bit of every single one of these desserts. Yes, well, we will be serving in about 10 minutes. Yes. So can I get you another drink in the meantime? Wonderful. I'll go and get your drink, and then